So, what's up, guys? This is Rashawn, and like with my few guests.
Hi.
Introduce yourselves.
My name is Hugo Daniel.
I am here.
She is Ashley.
I have subtitles. Don't worry.
I am JD. Hello.
I don't want to say my name.
It's fine.
Anyways.
Just good old magic.
Moving on.
But yeah, so onward to that awkward moment. We all decided to have like a little discussion about tipping and our opinions about it.
Yes. We find that tipping is a very controversial topic. Rashawn, how did we get interested in this topic, first of all? Do you remember?
I think we ordered, me and Hugo and my friend Emmanuel were like order and skip.
Yep.
And I don't agree with pre-tipping. Pre-tipping is kind of like a why you like try to tip someone early,
Right.
to be late.
So like an example, like basically when you started that conversation, like Emmanuel and I, we both and we all talked together, and we practically talked for like 45 minutes about that, and we all had completely different opinions on that. So it's like you said that you like don't agree with like tipping or pre-tipping specifically. What do you mean by that? Like just because, like you mean like when for that particular scenario we were doing Domino's and we had pizza or something, right?
Okay, here's the thing. It's like, why am I giving you money before you come to my door? That's like extra part of my bill, and you haven't left the store yet.
Right. Okay.
There's like, I give you a $5 tip, you don't get something to come early now.
And the last time we talked about it too, we also talked about how there's differences between in the serving industry or someone who's a delivery driver, and the difference between someone working in the front of the house or the back of the house for a restaurant, right?
Right.
So, Ashley, do you want to talk about that?
What?
Do you want to talk about tipping in general, or what one of us said?
I'm a server, and you're a server. How do you feel about it? I like it.
You. Oh my god. That's why you should never do this.
I didn't want to do it.
Honestly, when it comes to tipping, I just feel like be honest when it comes to tipping, you know? And servers, just be honest with yourself. If you know you didn't deserve a tip, don't get mad when you don't get one. And if you get a lot, you know, just be grateful when it comes to it. Don't always go out there expecting a tip. Don't look at people and think, oh my god, guests are coming in, money's coming in. Like, I don't know, just treat them like people. Don't treat them like money, because if you start treating them like money, you'll get lost in your service, and then you'll get mad about whatever tip you get, you know?
Like, it doesn't matter if you get a good tip or a bad tip at that point.
Okay, I respect that opinion.
Were you trying to say?
Not really. Like, you'll be offended with every tip that you get if you start just looking at people just because they're money to you.
How so? So it's like you walk in, like two people, like, oh, that's like $5-10.
Yeah, and then if you get like $2 on the table alone, you're gonna be cheesed. Like, don't go to the table expecting to receive whatever, you know.
Okay, I respect that. Yeah.
I feel like the controversy behind it is, like, it's not like legally mandated. It's not like we're forced to tip. Like, it's culturally, socially, we feel obligated to tip too, right? And
don't get where that comes from.
If I remember correctly, like they would say like 100 years ago and stuff, tipping didn't exist in North American culture.
Really?
And they wanted it. Yeah, that's we can fact check that after, and then you can, if I'm talking out of my ass, you can put it in there. But I'm pretty sure they said that they didn't want tipping.
So
at first.
Someone please look for a comment so you can
fact check it. Get the fact checkers on it. Yeah, and you can see that
I'm gonna fact check
there was there's so before there wasn't tipping, and they thought that because everyone should deserve the same type of service. But the way that it worked was lots of like cuts, and the companies saw the opportunity to take advantage of workers by paying them reduced wages, because they know that customers are going to come in and they're going to tip, right? So I do have to do a bit more due diligence on it, but I remember watching a couple videos about it from a long. I'm really stretching from like something I remember from a while ago.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Going right back to the fact.
Gotta think about it from the past, yeah. But it's very controversial, and I think that's the problem.
Well, no, you don't know what half the reason is, in my opinion, is because you go in a restaurant most times, if you go server, cooks, manager, the server gets the lowest pay.
Right.
Because it's, oh yeah, they get tips, so you can probably make the rest of their pay. And yes, sometimes you could get more paid money than like everyone else, but that's like you kind of just
It's
like
a risk reward. I
You
guess.
can't just throw a dice there. Like, okay, we're gonna give you the lowest like regardless, but you can make like one table make like an extra $20 tip.
True.
And I guess the manager, someone kind of think like, you know what? People tip the lady, they don't have to pay them much. This is kind of fucked up. In my opinion, it was like, just pay your people more money so you don't have to rely on tips for life.
Legit. That's it.
Like,
that's all it is.
Like people come like,
It's more complicated than that. I guess.
mine was like, I don't mind tipping. Me personally, I tip if I get a good service.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I have to enjoy my time, enjoy my waiter / waitress, whatever. Food preferably timely. Then yeah, you know, here's your tip.
Yeah, tipping counts for all of that. Like it's not just the service; it was your food, wait times. Like it's your whole experience is what you're tipping on.
Well, as an example,
not just your server.
Sorry to interrupt, but as an example, we did we went to lunch right now. Like I was thinking that we should talk about that and how the service that we had there. Not to go into too nitty details, but like
I didn't tip. him.
Okay, so you didn't tip him.
I tipped him because I felt bad.
You felt bad?
Yeah, because I understood that it was one person working out there, so I understood why it is certain things. It did take longer.
You always tip. Anyway,
I don't always tip. I don't always tip. I do not always tip.
As someone who's worked in that industry, sometimes you don't.
I don't.
Like if someone
always
just
tip.
fucks up on everything.
Just because being as a server, I know certain things now. So if I feel like I know, like if I don't want to give you a tip, I know why.
Oh, like you got like more of some profound reasoning.
I guess so. Yeah.
Some profound reasoning.
Like just the quality to be able to say, like in my mind, to be able to say, oh, I don't really want to tip you
for like
this and this and this.
Like for example, the guy goes up and goes, okay, here's a service, like, and he was like kind of crappy about it, and like,
yeah,
maybe, just maybe, you don't get $5 on top of your order. Just maybe you don't get 50% today.
Well, I was talking about this with Ashley before.
I don't know, but I'm more like blunt how word things, but
I was talking about this with Ashley before about how I had no idea about this, like because I never worked in the industry. That like, let's say, an example, like you serve a table and they don't tip you, the server actually loses money, right? And I think we talked about that before with Manuel when we were talking that first conversation. About
if you get like $200 of a bill and they don't tip, you still have to tip out. And it's like 6%.
I don't know. So I don't know if that happens in lots of places or not. But do you want to like elaborate on that or
what
about how the tipping, like how that negatively affects people when people don't tip?
Well, yeah, like if your bill is really expensive, like I don't know, like $200 or $300, we still have to tip out a percentage of that. And sometimes it's not even our fault. Like the food took too long or this and that, and then we still have to tip out. We have to tip out on everything, and that's at different restaurants. Like I've worked at like so many.
But to be fair, it's like, Okay, mine, like most times, like when I usually don't tip is like I don't order never too much. Like my order today wasn't even that much. It was like probably like $20 at the most, like $20 something at most.
So at 10%, like what, $2?
But see how that's like your bill wasn't that much. It wouldn't have been like difficult to do just your bare minimum of $2. Like that's kind of like the concept of it, basically.
Like you.
Fair, but it's kind
not
of
like it was like 200 or something. Cause like at Hibachi,
that's like a fancy.
The bills are like
right?
$2,000.
Like almost every time.
And it's like I think 18% gratuity or something.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like here's the thing, like if I have a bigger bill, then I'm more likely to tip because like okay, it's like I put you guys through more work. La da da da. Okay, here is a 5%.
Well, I guess like, doesn't it also say that like, this even the smaller clients still matter though? Like they still matter to the server. Like that's still gonna generate them some income, right?
Yes, but I have to enjoy the service. So I just enjoy the server. No.
True.
So I was like,
what do you guys feel about gratuity?
And that's different.
I think it's right. Like we
gratuity.
should have
So gratuity's different.
You should have gratuity, or
if we tip, we should.
You should.
What's the difference
Gratuity
between gratuity and tip?
Like
Or gratuity
in-
is...
like-
Gratuity is mandatory.
Remember
Yeah.
when Kim had to do?
But that's why the whole debate
Who
is
was it?
right, about it.
Sharona had to do like. Oh, who was it? Kim. Someone had to do 30 people, and then they didn't tip, and the bill was like $500. If that restaurant didn't have the over 100 thing no tip, like then like it would be no problem. Like Earl's for sure. I know it would have made you tip out anyway.
Okay, yeah, I definitely do feel like gratuity should exist in every restaurant.
Well,
Okay, that's fair. It's like,
But to
'Cause
also
you need all
let
the
your
food,
guests
the
know,
drinks at
like we
once.
used to do at Denny's, let your guests know when they walk in, like if they say a certain amount of people and you know that like 8 people or more is gratuity, then let them know before they sit down. By the way, guys, you're gonna have to pay gratuity on your bill.
Because they
Have
want
you
their
She's like,
Have you
service.
that's,
have you
that's
been in-
fair.
have you
I was
been
like,
in
at least I know like up
situations-
front.
Yeah,
you
like
know,
letting them know up front. That way they won't get mad. You won't get complaints. And then, because when people complain about gratuity, that's when the managers are just like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have
But
gratuity.
like the standard is like
Okay.
the standard is what, like more than 6 or 7 or 8 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
because my case with that is I usually get annoyed if like if I order my food and then like I don't know, it's like you have to tip. I don't care now. You have to tip. I'm like, I don't mind tipping, but have you told me this before when I walked in? I would have no issue with it and just do it. Now
That's why we should tell them
It's
as
like
soon as
now,
they walk in.
but now you're coming in like middle to the end of my order, and now I want to like kind of maybe I want to cut you off now.
Well, see,
because you demand a tip.
That's where
Like, as a customer, it's like
that's the problem that we're in right now.
you know
We're
what I
in
mean?
this
Depending on how the
weird.
guy would say it.
We're in that weird gray limbo area where we don't know if we should, we don't know if we shouldn't. And now there's we don't have a full consensus on it. If everyone said yeah, let's just tip, or if everyone said yeah, no tips, and we just make sure everyone just gets paid higher wages and stuff like that.
I say tip your delivery guys though.
Tip your delivery guy.
Tip, especially winter.
I've never tipped a delivery person ever.
Okay, like so say you ordered like say like during the snowstorms, and I was like maybe like a $2 tip. You know what? You came during a storm. Maybe you could have crashed. Here's $3.
Yeah, and that's definitely like you definitely should. It just I don't know. The thought has never occurred to me to ever tip my delivery service person. I don't know.
I do a little more often these days because Skip or Uber Eats kind of makes you has the options like afterwards. They hit you up back up and go, you want to tip your guy? And most times they'll be like, no.
No. I spend way too much money on Uber, Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats to begin with, so I can't tip. It's just way too much money going there already.
Like I only tip like rare occasions. Like say like I think last December was like a storm and I ordered a big order. So I give the guy $5 because he came like super quick.
Oh,
True.
that's nice.
Like he came super quick, and then he was like, in the store. I'm like, you know what? Here's $5. Like, you came in this fuck storm.
LOL. That's funny. That's nice. That's a good thing. It's a good mentality to have. Like tip them no matter what they actually work at, like inside a restaurant, outside a restaurant. That's good.
But yeah, I feel like most people just only want to talk about tipping at the restaurant, right? Because
That's where it's-
people
yeah.
we're seeing the most.
That's where we're seeing the most. But then like, there's like other tips too. Like, well, it's like say someone buys cannabis. Like, sometimes you probably could tip your driver or whatever.
So you're saying like if someone wanted to buy
Or whatever you think. Like even Ubers and stuff. You could.
No. I'm gonna disagree with
Okay.
this. You know why? Because I remember when I went to Nashville with my brother and his friends, right? And like my brother's luggage, like it didn't show up. Like they put it on the wrong plane or something like that. And so we waited there, and like our flight came like super late. And so we waited there, like no, like we can't find it. We have to go to the guy, and he's like, yeah, like we're gonna look for it, and then we'll let you know when we find it. So like the next day they found it, and they hired some third-party company to pick up the luggages and drop it off all around the city in Nashville, right? So and I'm in the room with everyone else, and these are older men. These are all my brother's friends, and I said to them with this mentality, I was like, yeah, like you're gonna tip that driver, right? And all of them looked at me and was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would we tip this driver? Like this is his job, picking up the luggage from the airport and stuff like that.
What are his friends?
What are his friends? You mean like ethnically and like where are they from?
Why does that matter?
Okay, I don't want to name names right now. It doesn't matter. But
Wait, they were from America?
these are all my brother's friends, and like we were in the United States, and then this is the worker that was like doing that, and I suggested to tip him, and they were all like, no, like there's no need to tip him, because he's just doing his job, because they don't see the similarity between that type of job and working in the service industry, like I guess.
Okay,
I was just saying, but certain things.
But I grew up with my mother, like whenever we took taxis or whatever, we always tip. So
Okay,
how is Uber any different
No. I'm not. This is not Uber. This was specifically someone picking up luggage that they lost for thing. So like so everyone else is like, why would you need to pay for something that they lost for you? You know?
Yeah.
Like, why would you need to tip out of your way for something that they lost? That was their responsibility for that baggage to be on that plane.
See, at that case, yes, you don't tip. Like, yes,
you're already paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for these flights.
Yes, I agree. You don't tip.
There's a big difference between 4 people dining at the restaurant.
Here's the thing, you don't tip that driver because that driver screwed it up. Obviously, you don't tip him because he's messed up.
Do you guys tip your like hairdressers?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes?
Yeah. Every time.
Sometimes, yeah.
I say sometimes.
I don't go to the hairdresser often, but when I do, yeah.
My hair person comes to me a lot of times. My hair person comes to me.
Oh, true.
Your hairdresser comes to you?
Yeah.
And you tip
nice.
And you sometimes tip?
Yeah, to be honest, I tip just because like she made her way over to me sometimes, so I was like...
That's nice.
True.
Or like I'll send a little extra. I haven't been doing it these days because money's not the greatest. But to be doing, here's my fair thing, and then here's extra money. My money's not that great right now. The last time I did, my money was not there.
Yeah, I do my own hair, so I don't have to really worry about that much.
No, I would say I would.
I'm not
tip,
later.
yeah.
I'm
I would say that tipping would be mandatory for like hairdressing and stuff like that. I do think because of the amount of work that it takes for them, like the length, the
price you get paid. The price you get paid.
I think maybe relevant to the price.
They do it in price, dude.
Relevant to the price.
So, you know, hairdressers just make. So we're talking about hairdressers tipping, right?
So we were specifically addressing tipping and hairdressing, and like Ashley asked us if we tip, and I say I do tip every time for my hairdresser, and you said sometimes you tip, and you're saying that if they come to you, you usually tip.
That and sometimes, but then I'd say sometimes, but at the same time, you don't realize they could make the. Also, I don't really feel like tipping their hairdresser that much because they can make the price. Like for example, they could be annoyed after you get your hair done. Boom, $30 extra.
Okay, well, it also depends on the price you pay, though, right?
Yeah, if it's hairdressers that don't pay for a chair, like they don't work in like an actual salon type thing, I would debate whether tipping them or not because that money goes basically straight into their pocket.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like I would debate it then. Depending.
Yeah, because this is someone doing their own thing, like
Like it's your own business. You don't have to pay for the chair you're working in a salon. But in a salon, I would feel a different way.
So let's say you're doing like lash extensions or like nails or whatever at someone's houses, or like your nails when you go to like a place. Okay.
I would lean more towards not tipping because it's their own thing.
Separate from the hairdressing.
Separate from
the salon stuff.
Yeah, the salon stuff. Make sense?
So like if it was at their house or something, you still wouldn't tip?
I would lean more towards not tipping. I wouldn't necessarily flat out say I'm not tipping them. Like when I walk in there, oh, you're not getting a tip. I would lean more towards it, like not tipping already.
Because I had two friends
it's their own business.
Do lash extensions and I went to them and I still tipped them. Like even though they just had their set price.
Well, nothing wrong with tipping. I'm just saying I'm walking in there.
No, but I'm just saying like it's their business that they're trying to like do. Like I would prefer to tip even more because it's their business, not because it goes to a corporation.
Nice.
See, okay, I get that. Yeah. But to be honest, but at the same time, like depends how much like am I charging to get this procedure done.
Procedure?
It's just nails.
Oh, like let's say like procedures as in like nails, hair.
The hospital get you.
Like no, like nails, hair, like whatever you're tipping that person for is like, how much am I actually paying for it, and do I actually need to tip you after I pay that money?
Okay, well I'll give.
At least that's how I think about it.
Well, I'll give you an example. We have a friend, Trista, and she was talking about she got her nails done a little while ago, and she got them like really nice like this, in like 2 different colors like that, and then basically she said that she felt bad for the worker because the worker did a very well job, but he was working like for like 8 hours straight, you know, and this guy's just crouched down like this, working on everyone's nails, doing small talk with a bunch of people that he probably doesn't want to talk to.
Okay, see, at that point, yeah, that dude probably had a long day. Okay, yeah,
like maybe if you were the last client or something like that.
You know what I mean? Like maybe that dude had a long day. Maybe give him $10 because he probably had a long day and probably was really fucking annoyed. So like you know, like you gotta understand like the situations, right?
Yeah, as long as you understand the situations, you know whether or not you feel like you want to tip.
For example, like I know some people tip their barbers. When I got my haircut, I never tipped my barber because I wasn't making like enough money to be like I'm gonna tip my barber shop like this much money.
Right.
Because after a while, I stopped going to the barber shop and have my uncle cut my hair.
True.
So I don't have to pay. So I don't pay, so I pay money to cut my hair at one point. And also, it's like the barbershop is usually not that long of a wait. If you go to a male barbershop, it's usually like 6 chairs.
I don't know about you, man. I don't know. When was the last time you went to a barber? Like, not for just the face, but I'm talking about like full hair. Like,
I don't go to the barbershop.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't go to the barbershop for this. I just do this myself.
No, I do it myself, but like I remember I did it once. Like one time I did it, and it's like,
I've been to the barbershop for 4.5 years.
There's too many coincidences for this situation to happen properly, because the one time I actually go do it and I get everything done up nice, and I literally look like a Mexican cholo, like one with a pencil thin mustache all the way down like this. I get it full done like that because my other buddy, he's like, hey, are you gonna get your facial hair done? I was like, no. He's like, okay, well I'm going. I was like, do you want to come? I was like, okay, yeah, fine. It's the last day, like on the trip or something. Let's do it. Like, why not? So, and that was in DC. Yeah, I was with my friend Kian, and it was these 2 workers, and they're both from Guatemala. They're both from the same country, and it's like I talked to the full hour while they're doing my thing, just talking to them in Spanish and stuff like that. I really appreciate, and they gave me beautiful service. So I'm like, yeah, I'm 100% gonna tip these guys, and especially knowing like where they come from and the situations that that happen to them.
See,
like,
for that one, you had like your own.
I think of like a moral. Just
that was your own moral reasoning, and you had your own thing. Like, this, right? Most people cut their hair, they're just silent, just literally just do the job.
It's not like that for everyone, though. Yeah,
a lot of barbers just, in my opinion, just get the job done, have small conversations, next.
Yeah, that's true.
At that point, why am I tipping you? Like, I didn't enjoy my time.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Like,
I remember
usually
that.
I don't enjoy my time.
I went to the barbershop there in like downtown Brampton, and like, yeah, it was just a quick thing, and I'm like, I felt obligated to tip him, but I'm like, yeah, it was okay, but like, you know, like that's part of the problem with this. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I guess I just felt bad if
I wouldn't, because like,
you know,
I'm already paying you to cut my hair.
Right.
Like, if I really want to be like a caveman, I'll do it myself. But like, I pay you to cut my hair. I was like, and I didn't enjoy my time. I didn't really enjoy my time exponentially enough to give an extra money. That's just my personal opinion about barbershops. Okay. And I haven't gotten 4 years.
I worked in a barbershop, so I know for a fact if you don't tip, they're going to basically remember you, and then when you see you next time, they're gonna avoid you and hope someone else takes you. Like, you're spending a time slot in their schedule, and then it comes to nothing, but then there's other people who take the other clients and then they get tipped. So obviously your service is not going to be the same, because they're trying to rush the people who aren't going to tip so they can take the other people, because it's client based, especially for people who are commission. A lot of them are commission. You think it's hourly, it's not. It depends. There's some people who choose, but the people who are commissions, it matters if you tip them to them. They pick the people that they want. That's why service is a thing. Like, when they see you and they think you're gonna tip, they'll take you. But if you don't tip, obviously they're gonna be upset, because that's what they live off of.
Right.
And yeah, they don't have to choose that job, whatever. But for example, the person that I'm thinking of that is on commission just came out of jail. He doesn't have a lot of options. Okay. So I don't think, like, saying that, to assume that they get paid, because they're not going to announce it and tell you so you feel bad. Like, you can't understand everyone's situation all the time. Trista got lucky because she found out while talking to the guy that, oh, I've been working here for 8 hours. But you're telling me that if you didn't know that, you wouldn't have tipped? That makes no sense to me. I would just stick to the process of tipping. I'm sorry, it's inconvenient. When you go to other countries, you can do that, but we're here, and you can do whatever you want, but service does matter at the end of the day. Like, if I go to a place all the time and I don't tip, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna get treated the same way as another regular who always regularly tips.
If you go to all the time, yeah, but like, say if you go, like, my frequency rest was like maybe once in a while. So like, usually I don't feel obligated to tip all the time. It's like, if I join my service, I join my service. Join my service, use a tip.
I feel like everyone should be in the service industry at least once in their lifetime.
To understand.
To know what it's like to service someone, so that you know what it's like to be on both sides of the table.
Okay, that I completely understand. That I understand.
That way, tipping, the topic of tipping would come more easily to you, so you know whether or not to tip. Because you know what it's like to be not tipped or to be tipped.
Okay, that I understand. I've like worked in like a restaurant for like 2 years.
But like, you were back of house.
Yeah,
Back of house is different from front of house.
yes, but like more so, I get to see a lot of the things more up front hand though. I get to see more things up front hand and then have conversations with the people there. So it's like after that's kind of getting more and more knowledge of like, you know what, maybe I should tip more often.
So what
here,
are the
maybe I should do
differences
this.
then? What are the differences for someone working back in front of the house like that?
Back of the house gets percentages of our tip out anyways.
I did not.
Especially
At
if they
certain
take
industries, they do.
like their time, or
Also-
they fight back like jazz.
Also,
Yeah.
back of house usually gets more money.
Back of house does get more money.
Usually
They get
up front.
hourly,
Front of
but
house.
Like hourly
we still,
and
and they
upfront.
get a good hourly. It's not minimum, and they still get the tip out.
They still get the tip out, like part of our tips.
But they
still
give
go
us
to them.
problems. Like depends on the restaurant, but from the
Depends on the
two
worker,
specific
too, I guess.
restaurants that I worked at, the back of house would always make a problem. Be like, well, why does he have a problem? I'm like, I don't care why my customer has a problem. I need the eggs remade.
Mhm.
Just do it. But they'll fight you tooth and nail because they want to save money. Like, no. And then suddenly your tip is involved in that because that's part of the restaurant.
And they still get some of that
You
tip.
get 0, and now you have to tip them anyway, the back of house.
When you were the one
because-
bitching about not remaking my eggs.
Exactly.
Like it's annoying.
Yeah, it's very can't really understand that if you don't have like the lived experience for that.
Exactly,
right?
which is why everyone should at least be in the service industry at least once.
Mm.
Just once. And at least for a while too. Like 6 months maybe you'll
Oh.
get a good picture.
So is it not 3 months?
No, not.
I think it's too short of a
Yeah, at least
experience.
half a year maybe.
Okay, so
you'll
say-
at least get a good picture of, you know, if you're working different shifts, morning, afternoon, evening, like you'll understand it throughout
okay.
that time.
All right, I
Throughout the
understand.
length.
All right, that's really sound.
Yeah, by then you should at least get some type of picture
So
going on in your
do you think
head.
that the pros outweigh the cons though? Like with the tips and the risk of not getting tipped then also, like with your service? Because there are some things that are out of your control and that are.
I mean, yeah.
Even if I get bad service, I still tip.
Mhm,
I typically tip literally all the time.
mhm.
I mean, that's
That's
just
how
you,
I was
though.
raised.
Yeah, that's it. Just like you're
But
just
that's- lot of
like
people
you're a
that's the
special.
thing.
You're a special
Wait.
type.
But so where I was raised and the people that I like was friends with, like in elementary, the ones that I hung out before with, I didn't even know people didn't tip. That's how we were raised, and so I think it's also
Okay, yeah. How you
like,
raised? Okay.
it's how you're raised and who you were with. Like my area was a little richer, so everyone, you know, abides to that mentality of tipping because it's in the rich people mentality. Like that's just how it is in the rich world. Okay, everything is with tips. You tip the valet, you tip this and that. Okay, so I grew up with it being a norm. I didn't know it was an option to not tip, and now that I know, like I knew it before too, like afterwards getting into the industry, but I'm not gonna follow that anyway because I was raised this way.
Right.
So you guys probably are different, like you raised that way, but like my mom always taught me tip this much, like, so that's how I learned it. But my dad, like I learned both ways. My dad doesn't tip at all. He says they should tip us for going, and I'm like, what? So
What?
I've had two
Okay,
different.
I don't get that.
That's my dad
Perspective,
versus
yeah.
my mom.
Yeah.
But I don't agree. But I like growing up, I knew that what my dad was saying was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked my mom's mentality when it
weirdest
comes
thing
to
ever.
service and tipping. We always tip the cab driver, we tip this and that. And I'm not saying that it's better, but we do abide by the social rules.
Right.
So we don't have problems when we go into a restaurant.
My parents didn't even mention anything about tips. Just kind of like, you know what? You get old enough, just go to a restaurant. You feel how you want to do it, more or less. It's like you want to tip, you can tip.
But see,
You want to tip.
That was
you
the problem that we were talking about in our original discussion with your boy, with Ray's, right? Like we were saying that like it's not optional. Like it's the social norms like of implicating, like you know, like you like it's like there is a certain mandatory like to do it, you know.
Yes, but here's the thing though. I'm not really the one if I don't really agree with the social norm, I'm not gonna do it because I don't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, social norm, yeah, but if I don't agree with it, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, well, let's give an example with New York. Like New York, literally, just raised the wages of like the average wages of their workers there, and then they put in an automatic gratuity fee. I believe I don't know how much it was, but and they're seeing it how it works better there. But you don't tip, and it's like in very certain neighborhoods, like in certain sections. So it's very complicated. So
Which parts? Is it like Manhattan?
like outside like Soho, Brooklyn stuff, maybe like in those newer areas that
Gossip
are
Girl?
yeah, kind of like that.
Obviously, it's the
Yeah.
richer
So-
area, so that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I'm just You know what? This conversation could go for probably fucking hours, Loki.
Actually.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna take let the ears and stuff rest. If you want more, comment, post, share it. I'm gonna end this. I say it's good enough to end the conversation here.
Yeah. All right. Say bye then. Bye.
Later, guys. Hopefully be back soon, depending on the time that I put this thing up.
Okay. Bye.
Later.